So we use headings to split our papers into sections and subsections, and also to organize our ideas. Okay, so that I hope I'm presenting so that when somebody reads your paper, they can clearly see this is this point because it has a heading above it, and they can really follow through your paper easily. Again, organizing our papers using headings helps, the lecturer or the teacher to clearly see your points. So sometimes it's good to use those headings. Again, whenever you are handling an assignment, and this assignment has some parts, there are some parts that you need to address. It's good that you convert these parts into headings so that the lecturer can clearly see that you've addressed all the parts. For instance, if you're working on a question that is asking you to explain how and why COVID-19 is a problem, it's good to have at least two headings: the why heading, why COVID-19 is a problem, and the how COVID-19 is a problem, so that they can clearly see you have addressed both parts of the question, the how part and the why part. So headings make points more conspicuous. Somebody doesn't have to look through your paper so hard to get the point. So it's always advisable to use headings. So according to APA, we can use up to 5 levels of headings. And at this point, I just want to explain what this means. Okay, I mean, when you're saying 5 levels of headings, what do we mean? So I don't know, should I use, let me just use an example of a topic, let's say effects of corruption. This is just an example. So this is the title of the assignment. And in this case, they have not told you to have any sections. They have just given you a question, discuss the effects of corruption. So it's upon you to decide how you want to split your paper. Okay. Somebody might want to split the paper into economic effects. Another one might want to do approach it from political effects and also social effects. So you can have these headings. So this was your title, okay, and then you have split the paper into 3 main sections where you'll be discussing about economic effects, social effects, and political effects. So while discussing, you also realize that, you know what, you can split social effects further down into, say, let me just confirm that this is actually recording. So you can split social effects into health, because I believe health is a social issue, health effects, okay, maybe into education, and then let's say any other social effect that you might want to, health effect that you might want to talk about, anything to do with health, okay? Yeah, so you can have, let me say social cohesion, for example, social cohesion. So you realize the 3 are under social effects, okay? Then you might also want to split economic effects into, let's say, effect on an employment rate, unemployment rate. So you have a discussion, specifically for how corruption affects the unemployment rate. And then you might also want to talk about effect on uh, foreign direct investment, and then you also split into effect on gross domestic product. So you can see in this case, we have split economic effects into 3 areas where we'll be talking about how corruption affects, unemployment rate, how it affects FDI, and how it affects the GDP. And then under political effects, we don't have any splitting. We just want to talk about all the political effects as a whole. But you can even go as far as talking about effect on leadership. Okay, how corruption influences leadership. You can split it into what effect on what. I want a political issue, effect on elections, for example. So you want to see how corruption affects leadership and election. I'm saying this because these two things are under political effects, okay? And then these three are under economic effects. So you can even decide to split unemployment further. If you have things that you feel are under unemployment that you want to talk about one by one, you can as well split that, into other subheadings. But at this point, let us just look at how we can organize these headings so that somebody reading your paper can immediately know unemployment is under economic, FDI is under economic, gross domestic products is still under economic, and of course, political is not under economic effects. There's a way you can organize the paper so that we have this, okay? So first of all, according to APA, you should boldface all the headings, okay? So let us just put them to bold, okay? So they should be in boldface. So the title, we call it the level 1 heading. So title is always the level 1 heading. That is the key thing. It's the overall thing that is covering all. So all these things are still, all of them are effects of corruption, okay? So once we have this, according to APA, they want us to center level 1. First of all, APA allow up to 5 levels of heading, which means you can split your points into 5 points and subpoints and sub-points. So you can have economic effects, split it into other things, then split those things into other things, then split those things into other things. I don't know if I'm making sense, but they allow up to 5 levels of heading, which means you can use up to 5 levels of heading. So the first level of heading is called the title. It's the level 1 heading. So they want it to be centered. So level 2 is something directly inside the title. So in this case, economic effects is a level 2. Okay. So level 2, according to them, besides being bold, they say just leave it on the margin. Do not center it. Okay. Do not ident. Do not do anything. It should be on the margin, right on the margin. According to APA, level 3 heading, okay, should be italicized. So these are 3 because they are inside what? Economic. Okay. So this is the level 1, which is the title, level 2, economic effects, and then all these will be level 3s because they are inside economic effects. If we put them as a level 2 as economic effect, it will mean they are points on their own. They are not inside economic. So political effects here will be level. Let me give you a few seconds to think about it. Which level will this be? I'd like to see some comments. Anything? I want to know if this is a level 1. Let me just use this to indicate this is a level 1. Okay. This is a level 2. And all these are level 3s. These are level 3s. What will this be? Let me see in the comments. Anyone? What will that be? Level 2? So anyone else? Level 2? Anyone else? Level 2? Yes, that's right. That will be, of course, a level 2 because it's still a point under economic effects and it's the same caliber as economic effects. So this will be a level 2. What about leadership and elections? Level 3, right? Social effects, level 2. And all these will be level 3s. So then put there level 3, level 3, and level 3. Okay, so in this paper we have not used any level 4s, which means I haven't picked any level 3 heading and split it any further. So APA 7th edition allow up to 5 levels. So if you are using a level 3, okay, we would have what we call level 4. You will have to ident it, okay. you'll have to ident it, and then level 5 you'll have to write it alongside this, in line with the text. But I don't want to go into there. I want you to just stop at level 3 at this stage. Don't split points down further into level 4s and level 5s. Okay, as much as the APA allow that, it's not necessary unless it's a very long paper that has so many sections and subsections and subsections. Like when you're talking about, let's say you're talking about, Nairobi. You want to talk about Nairobi, and then narrow down to, let's say, Embakasi, and then you want to narrow further down to Embakasi East. So Embakasi East has some smaller sections within it. Like I know of, well, I'm forgetting. I live in Embakasi East. I'm forgetting these areas. But there's a place called Kwachif. I'm not sure if it's a place really. We also have Mihango. So if the Mihango has some other smaller areas within it, don't create a heading for that. Just write them paragraph by paragraph. Don't put a heading on it. That's the point, because you'll be splitting down the paper too much, so that you'll have it look like a small bits of an entire thing. So just go up to level 3. Okay, don't use level 4s at this stage. But if you find it necessary during your research, then go for it. But I think when I upload this video, I'll also put a link to the guidelines, okay, the APA guidelines, where they explain what level 4 will look like, what level 5 will look like. But at this point, I just want you to stick to level 3. If you have to split your paper any further, split it out to level 3. If you have any level 4 things, just put them under paragraph. Do not put a heading on it. Don't put a heading on it for level 4 or level 5. Just write it as a paragraph, okay? You will understand. So don't split your paper too far. So once again, APA allowed 5 levels, but at this point, I just want you to stop at level 3 if you have to go that far. In most cases, you may not need to go that far, okay? You might just need to stop at level 2. So anybody reading the paper will understand that social cohesion is a point under social effects, because this is like the parent, okay? This is like the parent, if I have to use the family analogy. So this is like a parent, and this parent has 3 kids, has social economic effects as well. Kid number 1, kid number 2 is political effects, and then kid number 3 is social effects. So each of these children have their own children of their own. So kid number 1, economic effects, has 3 kids, okay, which now happen to be a grandparent of the parent, of the economic effects of corruption, as the title. So you realize you can't have a level 3 anywhere unless there's a level 2 above it. I mean, you can't have a mjukuu if you did not have a kid, right? So that's how it works. I've seen some people using a level 3, but if you look above it, there's nothing there. There's no level 2 there. So it goes, you go from a level 2 to a level 3. And again, you can't go from level 1 to a level 3 straight away. I mean, you can't have a mjukuu without a grandchild, without having a kid in the first place, okay? So you go step by step. So we start at level 1, which is centered, bold. Level 2, not centered, not italicized, okay? Not indented, which is now the kid number 1, the child number 1. And then this child might have several children, okay? Yeah, those will be level 3s. So you realize you can't have a level 3 unless you had a level 2 above it. So all level 3s above this economic effect mean there are points within economic effects. So if I was to put political effects as a level 3, which means if I was to italicize this one, somebody will interpret it as a point under economic effects. People will understand that political effects is actually a point under economic effects, which is not, the case. So anyone with a question about headings, so whenever you're using headings, be mindful of that. If you have to split your points further, use this system, okay? Level 1 should be centered, bold. Level 2 should be on the margin, the left margin, which means it should be, flash right, no indentation, no italicized. Level 3s should be italicized, not indented, okay? Anyone with a question before we move on? Yeah, Goa solution, I hope umeelewa, it wasn't level 3, it was a level 2. Yeah, level 2 because kama wewe ni mzazi, okay, if this is a mzazi, economic, political na social, hao ndio watoto wake, okay. Basi watoto wake wanaweza kuwa na watoto pia, like in this case huyu mtoto wa kwanza ako na watoto watatu, okay, so wao watakuwa level 3s. Huyu second born ako na watoto wawili, all of them are level 3s, okay. So in the same way, if we were talking about Africa, and then you want to talk about Kenya, Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, and here Nakuru these days is a city. And then we also want to talk about Tanzania. Me, I don't know cities in Tanzania. I want to talk about, is Bujumbura in Tanzania? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Dar es Salaam. Da. And then, do they, Dodoma? Okay, no Dodoma again. Then maybe go to Kampala. And then here you want to talk about Kampala. They also have a capital city, I believe. Kampala is actually the capital city, sorry. We have Uganda. Okay, so this one will mean that Africa will be the level 1. Okay, it's like the mzazi. Let me just confirm that we are still recording. And then we have Kenya level 2. Okay, Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru will be level 3s. Okay, because they are all within Kenya. Okay, okay, first of all, let's just boldface everything. So they are all within Kenya. So what will be Tanzania level 2? What we do to level 2s, we just leave them as long as it may bold. And then we have to put them as level 3s because they are within Tanzania. Then Kampala again level 3 because it's within. So basically a level 2, if you want to split a level 2 heading, if you have a level 2 heading and you want to split it, the splittings will be level 3s. So in this case, Kenya was a level 2 heading. Okay. So splitting Kenya into Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, and Nakuru means that these splits, okay, the splittings will be a level 3. Okay, if you wanted to split Nairobi further, maybe into, talk about Kasa, talk about, should be intelligent, talk about what? Kasa, talk about Umo, talk about Dandora. So if you want to split Nairobi further, then this will be a level 4s because you're splitting a level 3 heading. So if you're splitting, this is a level 3 heading. If you're splitting it, you'll split it into level 4s. Okay? So level 4s according to APA should be that way. Okay? They should be what we call tabbed. So tab them a little bit inside and then start a fresh paragraph below it. So if you wanted to split Kasa, again you want to split Kasa into bits, then those will be level 5s. Okay? So level 5s wanasema don't start a new paragraph, andika tu heading hapo kama hivyo, alafu mbele yake endelea na hiyo paragraph, endelea na hiyo sentence, usianze a new line. But I don't want you to go that far. Okay? Just talk to level 3s. But I know you can want to talk about Kasa in detail, so you split Kasa into, mi sijui mita za Kasa, sijui Kasarani na kwa na mita gani, sijui kama Mwiki iko ndani ya Kasarani, but I believe it should be Mwiki, Njiru. So you're gonna split into Mwiki, Njiru, what else? Yeah, those splittings. So you might want to split that. So you just split into Mwiki, for example, maybe Njiru, talk about them, Evo. So this will be level 5 because they are now under Kasa. Kasa now is under Nairobi. Nairobi is under Kenya. Kenya is under Africa. So that's how it works. I hope I've explained that, you guys. So let us move on, unless somebody has a question.